Hello and welcome back to another video with me, Meoni. This time we're looking at things adjusted to synthesis and ultimately what happens when you complete synthesis, i.e. crafting. So here we are on Weaver. We are just crafting a sarsenet cloth here, making it HQ. And basically in patch 7.5, you now have new things that you can do in this exact state here. So this is the state I'm talking about, where you have finished a craft but you're in the standby mode. So you're about to craft another item. Typically prior to patch 7.5 you wouldn't really be able to do that much in this state other than obviously start another craft. To actually do anything else in the game you would have to leave this and go back to the normal standing animation, but in patch 7.5 they have made it so there are other things that you can do in this state. One of the first changes is you are able to change your job. As you can see there, it will transition and then it will make you stand up and change job immediately. So instead of you having to come out of the menu to then change, it will do it automatically. And regardless of what job or class that is, it will change as you wish. Another thing then, let's say our food buff had ran off and we wanted to reapply Kavish. Normally we would have to exit out of this, stand back up, then go into our inventory and use the food. Now though, we can use food whilst in this state, which is a really big improvement and will help across the board, especially when we're doing endless amounts of crafting on the moon, for example, in the cosmic exploration content. This applies not only just to food, but also to medicines as well. So for example, our craftsman's Tisane here, we can reapply that. So this is going to be a huge game changer when we go forward onto the next part of a cosmic exploration, which is coming in patch 7.55. Another change then is the ability to move things around your inventory. This was something that was previously not possible because of being locked in this particular state. There were certain restrictions and that was one of them. So now you can organize your inventory. Say you have just crafted your cloth, you can move that to where you want rather than having to come out of the menu first to make some inventory adjustments, which is a really nice change. A small one, but it's one that in my opinion should have been there all along. However, the caveat to this is still that you are unable to discard items when you're preparing to craft in this state. So if I wanted to get rid of something that I didn't want in my inventory to make room for more crafts, I would have to come out of this menu, press escape, and then ditch the item like that. You can also join and leave parties in a state. For example, you might be the sort of person that crafts whilst you're waiting for people to show up for your raid night. This is something that I've seen before where people are like, give me a second, I'm just finishing this craft, and then you end up waiting a while for them. So if somebody was to invite you to a party, for example, friends invite me to a party here, normally I would have to come out of this menu and go, oh, right, give me a second, I'm just finishing my craft. And it's raid night and you're waiting for the party to be, created, and then they'd have to come out of this menu to then join the party, and then they'd have to go back to crafting whilst they wait for the other people to join the party. Now you can just straight up join a party whilst you're in this state, which is a really big change. They say that you can also leave parties as well, so again we can leave the party, but it says you are unable to join parties via the party finder. So if you're wanting to join something like, I don't know, this Minstrel's Ballad Tsukiyomi's Pain, I wouldn't be able to join this party simply because of the restrictions that are basically because I'm in this crafting state. You can now also operate link shells from this menu. So for example, whilst you're crafting, maybe you want to deal with something to do with your link shell or cross-world link shell. You can make adjustments to that as well. For example, like, I don't know, promoting people to leader, for example, like that, done, right? You can do all that sort of stuff whilst you're in this menu instead of having to come out. And also, if you move in any way, shape or form, this will also cancel it, so you don't have to press escape. Just any direction on your buttons, basically any direction you press will do that. These are fantastic changes in my opinion, and honestly it's one of those things that, as we've said before with a lot of things in this game, the quality of life changes will kind of blend into the background. We'll forget these were ever not the case, and then we'll be like, hey, it was always like that, and a lot of people will forget that. And that's the best way for quality of life changes to evolve, just to be slipped in there, people take them for granted, and then you have a better experience. So there are some big and some small changes in patch 7.5, but I thought we would cover as much as we physically can. It's always interesting to document these things, And yeah, I think it's cool. So I wonder what else they're going to do. I can't think of any suggestions. This is something that I didn't even know was going to be possible. So it's really cool to see that it is. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Enjoy the rest of your day. And we will see you all next time in another video. Bye-bye.